Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me again. It's TeaRon. That's TeaRon, period. And it's another Tuesday. So, we are doing another review. And I am here with none other than.
Hey y'all, it's me, Tiera Janee, and I'm back, like T-Ron said, for another review on a Tuesday, because that is what we do over here. What's going on, T-Ron?
I just want to first start by saying Happy Black History Month, Tiara.
Absolutely. Happy Black History Month, my dear. I mean, we're
We are in
halfway
the
through,
thick.
but thank
We are in the thick of it. We are in the thick of it. But here on Ubiquitous Blacks,
you. Mhm.
this particular platform, every day is Black History
That's right.
Day. Every month is Black History Month.
Let 'em
Every year is Black History Year. And it's going to keep being that
know. Mhm.
for as long as I'm Black,
I know
right?
that's right.
So there's that.
Say it loud.
Exactly. Um, that being said,
Yes.
today we are going to be putting respect on the pioneers' names with this review that we are doing.
Mhm.
Respectfully, Martin Luther King Jr. People don't even don't always put the junior anymore.
It's funny you say that because I was thinking about it when I was watching this. I was like, they don't even say the junior no more. We just say Martin Luther
No,
King, MLK.
we just yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Just say it like we talking about the street, right?
Yeah. Facts. Facts.
And my favorite civil rights activist of all time, drum roll, Malcolm X.
Yes.
In this series, so Genius has returned for another season, and this time they put a spotlight on MLK and Malcolm X, respectfully. And yeah, we're gonna get into that. So check out the trailer, and we'll be right back.
Reverend, Minister, we meet at last. We have been oppressed. We are forced to ride the back of a bus so a white passenger could sit.
What you're doing is just. Never question that.
Brothers and sisters, are you ready?
I believe you're going to do great things.
We must be a little daring.
We can change the course of history.
So, Tiara.
Yes. T-Ron.
I'll say this, and I'll be totally honest. I'll be frank, and I know you probably share the same opinion with me.
Mhm.
When I first saw the trailer for this series, for this limited series, I was not feeling it. I was like, yo, y'all not, I don't, there's a significant portion of us, and I understand the importance of these stories and what they mean for us and that they need to be told. I'm telling you, I really do. But there's a significant portion of us Black Americans who are tired. We've been so traumatized, going through the education system, learning about Black history, um, seeing the rhetoric be told over and over. It's a lot.
Mhm.
So when these movies come out, whether it be a movie about slavery or about those early years of the Americas, and I'm selective. I'm very selective about the ones that I even partake in at this point, because ain't y'all tired?
I know I'm tired. I know I am. And I'm gonna go ahead and keep it
You-
with our audience because that is what we do here. We keep it 100. I did not want to watch this. I saw the trailer come across my
Yeah.
feed. And I was not interested. I did not want to watch this. Because for all the reasons that you just mentioned, T, like I'm just tired. I'm tired of Black oppression. I'm tired of rehashing the same stories that we've heard over and over. And not that they're not important and not that we don't need to keep
Yeah.
the narratives alive. It's just that like there are so many other stories that can be told and to be told that we don't even tap into. And it's really unfortunate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree, and that was. Let me just say the trailer did a poor job of setting the tone for what the series actually gives.
Mhm.
So once I got into the series, I think the word that I want to use is that it's pretty genius. I
Really?
mean, it
Really?
was pretty genius.
Okay.
I was actually surprised at what they were giving us, and not necessarily what, more so how they were giving it to us.
Mhm.
Um, we know the most famous depiction of the Malcolm X story was in what 1992 was with Denzel,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
That's the most famous depiction of that story.
Yeah.
We've seen countless MLK stories
Yeah.
over the years, right? So it's like, okay, what can y'all do with this?
Mhm.
Genius figured out a way to deliver it to us in a way that I think allowed us to get over that initial feeling of like, oh, I don't really want to do this right now, right?
Mhm.
And what it did was it changed the perspective. It gave us a different point of view. We know what's happening in these years. Um, we know what's happening leading up to the actual one time that MLK and Malcolm met, right? We know what these things are, and we know all the stuff. We don't ever we don't ever spend time with all of the stuff,
Yeah.
meaning the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
We don't get burdened with it throughout. And so far, we still have a few episodes to go, but so far, I'm surprised here. I'm enjoying it thus far.
Yeah.
What about you? When
Yeah.
you got into it, what were you relieved as well?
I gotta be honest, as much as I didn't want to watch this, yes, as I got into it, I was relieved. I appreciated we got to see more about the individuals, about the person, the human parts of them. Like for example, there was a scene where MLK meets Coretta and she's over at the house and they're making dinner and he's like trying to be sexy and like make jokes and like be flirty. And it made
Yes.
me laugh because it was like we don't see MLK as like a human being, a man who would be trying to court a woman. He's making dinner for her. He's being sexy. Like we don't ever see that. So I appreciated that they humanized these like iconic figures. I would
Yeah.
also say, although the story is like we've like you said, we've heard it before, we know what's going on. I wasn't bored. I was not bored.
Right.
I was in tune. And then of course, like the performances were great. I mean,
Yeah.
knocking it out the park.
They are doing their thing.
Yeah.
Let's get into the performers that you mentioned.
Yeah.
So give us the gist of the rundown of the synopsis for this series, and then also the main characters that we have met so far,
Yeah.
if you would.
Yes, I will. So, following Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X from their formative years to their rich parallel stories as they shape their identities and become the change they wish to see in the world, the two visionaries ultimately rise to pioneer a movement. So that's the synopsis that NatGeo gives us for this film.
Now let's start with our first couple.
Yeah,
Um, and we'll get into them, and then we'll do our next couple.
yeah.
So who's playing MLK and who is playing the epitome of all Black women, as according to Jonathan Majors, the lovely Coretta Scott?
And I just
Who
want
do
to
we have?
say, I'm glad you said that because the whole time, every time they mentioned or showed Coretta, I was like, I hate Jonathan Majors for this because now I'm thinking about Jonathan Majors and his shenanigans every time I see this woman's name. And it's like, it's so ridiculous. It's so absurd. So I hate Jonathan Majors for that. But I'm glad you said
That's okay. That's okay, because they put some respect on Coretta
they
in
did.
this
They
series
absolutely did. And I appreciate that.
without the Jonathan
Yes.
Majors drama. But
Yes, so the young
who we
lady
got?
who
Who we
plays
got?
Coretta, and I hope I'm saying your name correctly. If not, please forgive me. It's Waruchi Opia. Are you familiar with her? I don't think I've heard her name.
I don't think I've heard her name. This is my first time seeing her.
Okay.
Um, because I was, when you see a face, you can kind of be like, oh yeah. I couldn't place her in other stuff. Even if I have seen her in something else, I couldn't place her.
Yeah.
But
Well, she's killing.
let me say,
She's
the
killing.
casting was on point.
Yeah.
They got the hair, some of her like facial features, like
Yeah.
they did great casting Coretta. There's been a lot of people who have played Coretta over the years.
Megan
And this is by
Good.
far one of my faves so far.
Yeah.
For sure. She's so pleasant. So on screen, she's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it makes you understand why you would want your woman to be like Coretta.
Okay, I'm gonna move on from that. Because we as women, I'm gonna speak for all women right now. We are sick of hearing that. Please stop saying that. We are sick.
TeaRon, be my Coretta. It's Black History Month.
We're tired. We don't want to hear that no more. But speaking of Coretta, her of course famous husband was played by Kelvin Harrison Jr. He played MLK.
Stop right there.
All right, pause. Pause it.
Kelvin.
Yes.
Harrison Jr.
Yes.
I'll be totally honest with you. Y'all can have your Michael B. Jordans and what's Denzel's son name? Him.
Denzel's son.
Y'all can listen. Y'all can have all of them. Kelvin is easily becoming one of my favorite actors to date.
Okay.
Everything I've seen him in, when he did Loose, when he did Chevalier, when he's so listen. Give him his stuff, okay?
Are you standing right now? Yes.
I'm standing on it. He's so good. I'm just every time I see him in something, I am never seeing him, which is a good thing. You want to get lost in a story, but I'm always convinced of the characters that he plays, and he ain't missed yet for me in his films. He hasn't missed yet.
Yeah.
And none of the roles are the same. You know how you kind of get someone who gets typecast, or they, maybe they have a similar cadence, they do the same thing. This is not, you don't get that with him. You get whatever story they give him in the script, he becomes that character. I would be surprised if he's not method, if he doesn't handle stuff that way. But this was perfect casting, because we've seen people play Martin a lot, right?
Yeah.
People can pretty much do Martin's voice in terms of how we've heard it. What I also find interesting, Tiera, is that people, when they play Martin, they tend to do his speech voice, because there was different recording equipment back then, and there's a shakiness to the voice, right?
Yeah.
So when people do Martin, they tend to quiver and shake. They tend to say things like this.
They do.
Right?
Yeah.
And he found a way to capture Martin's essence without doing that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He even put on a little weight for the role. We know Coretta was feeding Martin, okay?
Yes.
Martin wasn't no skinny minnie. He wasn't big. He wasn't, but so he committed enough that he even put on weight in this. If you look at him in his previous roles, we know that Kelvin had cheekbone.
Yeah.
Jawbone. That's I said cheek. That's a jawbone.
Jawline.
He put on weight for this. He really got into this role, and I couldn't be more happy.
I agree. I'm with it. I enjoyed it. Like I said, the voice thing definitely stood out to me. I'm glad you called that out. It was nice to hear it not be like the character-y, cartoony voice that we typically hear do when they do MLK. And then, like I said, when he was trying to be sexy, it was like, oh, this is MLK's voice, but like, a human being.
Yeah.
I have a dream. So I enjoyed it. He killed it.
Yeah.
Fantastic casting. And speaking of casting,
so
also
let's go on.
Who we
got?
We have to talk about Malcolm X and Betty Shabazz. So Betty is played by a young lady named Jamie Lawson.
Gorgeous.
I was literally about to say that.
Oh
gorgeous.
My God.
Can we talk about the skin, please? Amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Beautiful young lady. Then Malcolm X. It's played by Aaron Pierre, which I have to say, chef's kiss, kill.
Stop right there.
Yes.
So much like Kelvin, I'm going to give Aaron his stuff, okay? Good job, but okay, that's the stuff I'm giving you. Let me set that aside. This is no knock against Aaron, but you know I have this thing, Tiera.
Oh, I know where we're going.
When I'm watching something,
yeah,
and I know in the back of my mind, this person is British. This
soapbox.
When it came down to the monologues, the scenes where he's presenting, he's doing his thing, I'm thinking to myself the whole time, I know you're British. And when I'm thinking that, I find myself, unlike with Kelvin, I find myself on Aaron's scenes watching it as a scene and seeing it be very performative.
Deterrence from mandatory death when a white person murders a black one has never been explored in this country. Race disparities in capital punishment are evident, for there have been several black lives extinguished when convicted of murdering white people.
And this is not to say that the casting was great, okay? He's doing a great job thus far. But there's a deeper thing here. I think that we as Black Americans, when it comes to our media, we have set a precedence and we've laid the groundwork and we've invited other people in to the point that now they are sharing in our stories, but they don't even have the foundation to bring us in the same way. Black Americans get constantly scrutinized for playing British roles and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And we get it. We know that we have an accent. It's not y'all, we do, right? Whatever. But when it comes down to it, I told you, especially with this whole civil rights movement, there are plenty of Black British activists who were the first to do this and the first to do that and take a stand for this and take a stand for that. But y'all don't want to tell those stories? Why? Come on. Like, that's has nothing to do with Aaron. Okay, let me be clear. That has nothing to do with Aaron and his performance as Malcolm. That's just me tired of y'all with this British takeover crap.
Yeah, I would love to hear from anybody who's watching or listening to this, who's British and who I want to hear your thoughts or your comments on that. Like, how do you feel about
overwhelming
British actors? Not always. Let me not say that. A lot of times,
majority times
playing, these Black iconic characters, when you all have your own. So I'm very curious to know what the thoughts are there, and and maybe there's something that we don't know. Maybe there are films and adaptations that we don't know and we've never seen. Please put us on, put the titles in the comments.
Here's what I always
see.
Here's what I always see, Tiera. When people bring up this, they say, and this is poppycock, right? Poppycock. But no, this is what I always see. This is the stance that people take.
Yeah.
Even some of our own. They say, oh, well, these British actors are classically trained and they're so well trained. Stop the cap. Stop the bullshit. Okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Like, y'all, the truth of the matter is we subconsciously associate, and this is globally, we subconsciously associate the British accent with being upper echelon, with being a bit more intelligent, et cetera, et cetera. So when you see someone come in with a British accent, your subconscious mind says, oh, this is someone I should be listening to, or this is someone I should admire, this is someone I should look up to, when really it's just their voice. You don't treat a Nigerian accent the same way, right? You don't uphold that. So you have a Black British actor coming in for an American part. He's going to have this subconscious interwoven favoritism. Let me put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I truly believe. You combine that with the fact that they know all of our stuff, but again, we don't know theirs.
And I want to know y'all's. So again,
I want to know
if there is
yours.
stuff that we are not aware of, please let us know. Or if like y'all feel the same way. You're like, listen, we want to hear our stories. We tired of talking about MLK and Malcolm X. We want to talk
Yeah.
about I don't even know. I don't even know the name to use. So.
See? So
but see,
back
go
to
ahead.
the story at hand.
Yes.
Aaron is doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing Malcolm be performed in, again, a humanizing way is very pleasant.
Yeah.
I would say. And I know that he's gonna be a win for anybody who is looking for eye candy in the thing.
Really?
So whatever.
Okay, sure.
That's what y'all like.
All right.
But anyways.
All right, sure.
They say light skin ain't in no more, but if Aaron keeps doing his thing, which by the way, it's no coincidence that NatGeo is giving us this story, and later we're going to Disney's going to be giving us Kelvin and Aaron playing Scar and Mufasa respectfully in the origin story. It's no coincidence.
Oh, is that a fact?
That is a fact.
Okay.
So we'll see them working together. Well, in a vocal capacity.
Yeah.
But they'll be working together again soon. So hey, if you like it, I love it.
Yeah.
Some of the things I want to point out, again, the series does a good job of bringing these polarizing figures down to earth and having us empathize with them. And again, we hop around throughout the years. We get to see Martin meet Coretta. We get to see Malcolm meet Betty. And we never have to deal with the funkiness, that goes on. We see some stuff, the sit-in demonstration.
Mm-hmm.
We see meetings with, the white counterparts about the Montgomery bus boycott.
Yes.
So you get some inclinations that is happening around it, but I love the approach that they took. I also love the fact that the stories are told in a parallel way. So we go from Malcolm's childhood and things that happen that were getting implanted in him. We switch over to Martin's childhood. We see stuff getting implanted with him. They get older. We see college age Martin, and then we see college age. Even though I was gonna say prison age, but let me not. We see older Malcolm. So we get to see the juxtaposition and the contrast of their upbringing, and so on and so forth.
Right.
But I thought that approach was the right one to take.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to tell these stories in this short bit of time, we can either do one or the other. But if you're going to do both, the way that they were going back and forth between them, that's the chef's kiss.
That's the chef's kiss. All right. So speaking of chef's kiss, I think it's time for our favorite part of the
Oh, wait.
No, it's time.
It is time. It is time. I do want to point out a fact.
Yes.
That in the series, they do take some creative liberties. And one of them I wanted to point out is I think they did it because they didn't want it to be a focal point, or they didn't want to blemish Martin's legacy or distract you in that way. So in one of the earlier episodes, we see Martin as a young boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And his grandmother has a heart attack and passes away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In this depiction, and the reason I even want to point this out is because when we're watching this, it is a bit romanticized. Okay. It's less greedy. It's enjoyable, but it's worth noting the facts. The actual in the show, the story is Martin's out with his friends. He goes to like a fair or something like that. And he's supposed to be helping his grandmother. He's not. She, you see her fall ill. The real story goes, Martin is at home. playing with his brother, and they are taking turns sliding down the banister. You know how you would slide down the rail as a kid,
Mhm.
if you ever did that.
Mhm.
And they end up knocking her over, and then she passed as a result. This is what caused Martin to, be feeling guilty and jump out the window. The other thing is that they
What?
played out that scene in a way that it was like, oh, we need an ambulance. It's, the truth of the matter is Martin jumped out the window. He was fine. He got up. I just want to point that out because when you're watching this and we're enjoying the courting and we're enjoying the scenes play out and we're seeing these actors bring these characters to life in this way,
Mhm.
that there is some stuff that is just, cleaned up a bit. And I think with our historical figures, we have to be careful with that. We have to be careful with the facts as they are. Even if they're that small, they kind of build up and play a bigger role because it's going to be young people who see this. I seen a video, Tiara. There was a young girl who was coloring a picture of MLK. I seen this last night, and her parents were like, she was showing them her coloring, and she was like, they were like, who is that? What's his name? And she said, I don't know, DeMarcus King. you know, I laughed, but I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think with these figures being so important to us and our legacy and how far we've come, I think even those small details, we have to acknowledge the fact that they're based on true events,
Mhm.
but they're not exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
think
I
that's
just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I certainly did not know that. So thank you for sharing. So that's Black history right there. We need to be on stuff like that. Give us the real tea.
Give it to us real. We can
Yeah,
take it.
we can handle
We can
it.
take it.
Yeah, for sure.
So that I'm ready to wrap it up. I'm sorry.
It's all good. No, we needed that. Like I said, I don't think a lot of us knew that. And hell, I watched the movie. I mean, the show, and didn't know that. So thank you. But anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this one up. T, let's get your rating. What you think? What you got for this one?
Okay. So I said to myself that
Mhm.
I would never want to review something in the middle of it. However, I can see that they really put a lot of thought into this, and I can see that everything was well crafted out. They are definitely putting the proper respect on these names as they should, and all of the scenes were solid. There was nothing that made me feel any kind of way. I didn't feel icky ever. I never felt cringy,
Yeah.
other than me thinking about that whole thing that I told you earlier.
Mhm.
Nothing else really missed. Right? Everything was well done and superb. And like I said, the performances are all of that. This is something that I think that will, once I'm done watching the full thing, I think that I can stand watching it again. But don't quote me on that. I'll let you know later. But up until this point, we have a few episodes left. But I would say up until this point, Tiara, I am going to give the series I think I'm going to give it an Angela Bassett, surprisingly.
Okay. Wow.
I really think that overall the performances win hands down. I'm gonna put it up there for sure. And I think that it will become like a sort of a cult classic for us. What about you?
You do?
I do. I think that this will be something that we can watch next year and it'll still be fun.
Okay. That's interesting.
What?
That's just an interesting take. All right. Well, I was totally ready to again be mad about this series, have an attitude about it, being a bad mood about it, because I didn't want to watch it. T-Ron knows this.
Yeah.
Like you said, the story is so tired. But I am pleasantly surprised. I have enjoyed what I've seen thus far. The performances have been A1. I feel like everyone has done such a great job. I've really enjoyed the characters. I've enjoyed the way that the stories are being told. Again, it's not
Yeah.
stuff that we already knew. It's really more of looking at these men as people. So I really enjoyed that. So I think I'm gonna also give it. No, I'm not. No, because something else just hit me. One thing that I did not like about this series.
What was that?
It is the inclusion of music from today. So when they have music,
Yes.
and it doesn't fit.
Yes.
Just like they're throwing in songs because they want to modernize it. And I'm
Yeah.
but that's still gonna be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah,
Yeah.
nah.
Okay. You're right. That bothered me too,
It
I will
bothered
say.
me.
But
Because they would just come out of nowhere, and it's like, oh my God.
because I was like, I said, is that Jennifer Hudson hollering
Yes,
in this scene? Oh my God.
yes, it was. I caught that too. Like, what is happening? Why is it so? Yeah, so I don't know if they were trying to like make it fresh or modern or bring in the younger
Yeah.
people or whatever, but baby, that wasn't it. That was not
Yeah.
it. So yeah, I'll have to backpedal that. So now I'm gonna change my rating, and I'm gonna go ahead and give it a Queen Latifah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah.
I am going to commit to finishing it.
Okay.
Just to see what I get, but I don't think my idea of it will change, just because I think that it's just going to be really well done. And mark my words, Emmys.
Yeah, next year, right?
Emmys.
Next year, Emmys.
Yeah,
Yeah?
Emmys.
Yeah. Oh,
For
especially
sure,
because
for
it's a
sure.
NatGeo show, so they're gonna slash Disney, so they'll make sure they get up there.
Emmys.
Emmys. All right.
A couple of them.
A couple of 'em.
Well, happy Black History Month, everybody.
Yeah.
I have been TeaRon. So if you want to interact with us, you can leave a comment, subscribe on the YouTube channel. If you're listening to this as a podcast medium, you can rate us 5 stars, and you can also participate in some of the polls and leave us a comment on your podcast platform of choice. You can also follow me, TeaRon, at TeaRon World on Instagram, at TeaRon with 2 underscores on TikTok. And of course, you can follow Ubiquitous Blacks all over the socials. And you can email us recommendations, tips, whatever you want to email us in regards to what we're doing here. Send it over and we'll check it out. That's ubiquitousblacks@gmail.com. Tiera, where can they find you?
Yes, you can find me also at All Things Ubiquitous Blacks. You can find me there, but also on my Instagram, which is Tiera Takes _. So it's TIERA TAKES _. So you can check me out there. Over there doing some travel content, a little bit different than what's happening here, but that's where you can find me. And also, like TeaRon said, if ever you guys have recommendations or stuff you want us to check out or watch, please go ahead and drop that in the comments, send it our way. And, we are the type of people, we listen. So if y'all send us something, we're going to check it out. And if we don't like it, we will let you know. But if we love it, we will also let you know, of course. Anything else?
Well, that's it for now. We will see you all next week.
Bye, y'all.
Happy Black History
Happy
Month.
Black History
Peace.
Month.